So what exactly did we go over last week? Or 2 weeks, a week and a half, about a week and a half ago. What did we go over? Wait,
Well,
I know what we went over.
that was my Sojourn. I am on Tracer now.
Oh, it was a soldier and Genji
Yeah.
gameplay that we looked at.
Yeah.
So, what we looked at specifically for you was...
It was mostly just learning when to take the angles. And
There we
when on
go. Okay,
Genji
I
to
got it.
poke
I
or
got it.
be aggressive.
Yeah, I got it now. Okay, so let's see. Again, it could be a very... Yeah, I could still watch for the same stuff, even though you're on a different character now. Because
Okay.
you play fairly similar characters. Mainly, like, with the Genji stuff, let's see if you can,
Green share is so
determine...
horrible right now. I'm watching a slideshow right now. What is this? The resolution isn't working.
1 second.
Spinning blade.
Hmm. Maybe this is better.
Nope.
Maybe this is better. Why are we continuing to attack down main, is my question. Throughout the entirety of this entire fight that you'll see, yes, you dove in with the Winston. Now the Winston's not going in. Why are we still trying to go in?
I don't know.
What we could be looking to do is, yes, the initial engagement with the Winston was good, but we need to recognize when our Winston is disengaging from the fight, and then use that as an opportunity to then go ahead and around and get some form of off angle, whether it's coming around through here or waiting for them to kite back so that then you could take some more space, or whether it's being quirky with your rotations coming around here, or going all the way around back through here and then coming up through here in some way, knowing your map and recognizing that it's time to take an off angle instead of continuing or prolonging a fight, which could possibly get yourself picked off, as you almost did. But even that was good, like that waiting right there that you did for them to adjust their own positioning. I like that. Oh, you can't miss those, especially on Malga. That's all I could say.
It was the only pulse I missed all game.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Why do we like what you're doing right now?
Off angle.
Yeah, but why? What makes it good?
Because I'm forcing him to look at something other than main.
There you go. That was just dumb. We need to recognize, okay, we're at like 50 health, and we're pushing into 2 supports. Well, yes, they may be not, we may think they're bad. If they just hit one shot, either one of them, you're dead, as of what happened. In that situation, really just play for health pack, or recognize where your supports are. And if you saw, hello, Mr. I can't die unless it's a one-shot capability tool. Just be a little bit more patient. You got a little kill thirsty is all I could really say. At least that's what it looked like. You got a little kill thirsty.
Every day they go fucking mercy.
That was a good dive. Another good dive. That was all good. Nothing really to say there. Yep, and I like that you waited that time. Good stick.
Kill that bitch! Kill her.
Right now, what could we be doing? What could we be doing right
Well, we were trying to disengage because I was in that.
now?
Oh, I'm getting brushed!
Know where you're going. Know where you're going. Don't just run away from a situation. Know where you're running into. Like, because if we go back here, let's see. Oh, okay. What's this tracer doing? Surely his pathing is correct. No,
I wasn't
no.
running. We were trying to dive. We were calling NPC.
But what happened here? You can't
I
be
got
the
one
initial.
shot by
Yeah,
Helix.
you can't be. This is actually a great example as to why we don't want to attack down main. Because you don't have the health pool of a tank, which is why the tank is fine rushing down main, because he has the health pool to withstand a couple of extra hits. But unlike that, that's why we want the tracers and the Genjis and the Sombras all taking flanks or in some form of off angle. While yes, attacking main is fine and will
Oh, where's the
sometimes be the
damn
only
guy?
option, we can't be the initial engagement like you were in this situation, because you went in first. They still had all
Oh
their
my
util like
god, this
Helix
is so fucking
and just
weird.
touched you. Versus if you waited like a second or two more for that Winston to jump in first and then you engage, boom. That would have been, you would have had a higher likely chance of surviving. And then of course, obviously, going around here would have been the best option if you were given that opportunity. So just try not to be the first one down main if you guys plan to attack like that. If you need to go down main, but if you can wait a couple extra seconds and give yourself a better opportunity or a safer execution, I'd much rather see something like that. And I think, yeah, it also looks like you guys weren't deep into a fight, so you guys could have honestly probably waited the extra 2 seconds for him to go around and get that flank. Much over aggression. Yeah, you got to be careful there. That Reaper is still able to one-shot you. So we really don't want to find ourselves locked into situations where we have to fight him head on. Another good stick. That's that. We probably could just recalled out instead of trying to blink out like we did. We could just recalled.
I tried going for the health pack instead, but I missed.
As off a pulse, it's honestly fine to utilize your recall. Well, yes, you're gonna be out pulse and recall, but as long as you got that stick like you did, you're getting that guaranteed kill. So you kind of did your job. You made it a 4v4 for the team. So you could be a little bit more passive and play a little bit more pokey, being down that recall. The reason that Reaper was able to pressure you initially is because you peeked your head out here. Like, you saw how this is see-through, as you should know. So, since you were peeking out here, the Ana and the Kiri looked and saw you and called that out to the Reaper. And that's what happened here, pretty much. If you wanted to do that dive safely, it looked to me like you were planned on coming in from behind while they were pushing up, and then you were going to try to harass the Ana like you're doing right now, right? Looks like at least that was the plan. If we wanted that to be a little bit more successful, we could have been a little bit more patient and waited for more or less our team to be set up, or at least a little bit closer to set up, and then we could look to move in. So that in case we do run into that situation, Winston is there to help like he just was. See, you can't take those 1v1s. Reaper's a very scary individual to be like kind of dashing around, because he just does so much damage to you with such a little health pool. Very nice. That was a good play. Damn, the roll got shut down again. You gotta be very careful, make sure that they're, because if they hit enough of those shots, like they just did, you could end up in a situation where you're stalled out like that, or staggered out like this, which could end up costing your team. A lot of times it just comes with over-aggression and not resetting yourself after you take a little bit of damage. Like in that situation, obviously it worked out, but there are gonna be others where you aren't able to get the entire value. So it just comes with more or less read that situation that you're currently in. See how many more do I have to, what else do I have to deal with? What is a possibility that could come out? Are these is this characters that can 1v1 easily? Read that kind of situation. Read the situation like that. Okay. Do you want to look at the second one? Or just
Yeah.
this? Okay. We're Widow. Let's go. Yeah, okay, one thing that I can mainly say is when facing poke characters, whether it's a Hanzo, another Widow, or even a Genji like this, or even a Junkrat, you want to, once they spot your angle, you want to change angles. You want to make the enemy move their crosshair.
Yeah, that was my plan. I was
Yeah, you were
just shooting
attempting to
there.
do it, but you didn't do it as consistently as you should have. Because while yes, let's go back and watch. Like yeah, you see, and now you change angles. But you see that Hanzo knows where you are. He knows where to shoot, and that's why that happens. The second you saw him look at you, and then he went to cover, and if you're going to continue to hold this angle, he's going to know where to shoot. You're not going to know when he's going to peek out, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same mindset of like why you don't. It's a similar mindset to other video games. But yeah, once an opponent's able to get away from your crosshairs by moving to cover and then re-peek you, that's when you need to be taking cover. Like when he went to cover, you need to change your angle to maybe go. Even just going back to where you were the first time is more than enough because now he doesn't know where he's looking. But you do have a bit more of an advantage because you know he can only be coming from here, unless he long rotated out. Cassidy? Oh, that was fast. First off, hit your shots. Second off, you went into a fight late and your team was dead. At that point, you just need to recognize that your teammate's not getting out of that fight and not engage not engage so much. It becomes somewhat readable when you look at the situation at hand, like how many of on your team have died already. Remember cover play, man. You're going all the way out here. Remember when you can get the same value here as you can out here, or here if you're trying to peek someone that's in here while not really peeking down there. Remember to play cover. Don't forget about that. We don't want to forget about that just because we're on a character, we're not hitting our shots.
What the fuck? Why is it
Good pick. Remember the cover, remember the cover. Oh, this does not look like a fun situation for you now, does it?
No.
Oh god. And now you think, imagine if I listened when my coach said play cover. Cause you see how like we could be like over here now,
Mm-hmm.
and then like we don't have a lot of movement, but we could hopefully play around the Doomfist punching bag a little bit, and hopefully maybe dodge him. I know he's not in a great spot for it because he could also like walk a little bit, but cover play, man. This is just a bad situation at all. Normally you don't want to look to castle if you know something like this, like a Doomfist is looking at you if Ana has sleep or some shit like that. So that's just bad on you. Just recognize that you're playing Cass and I'm fighting a Doomfist currently. I could get knocked out of my ult very easily. Same when you're playing Moira. Anyone that has like one of those long-term ults that can be ended with a stun. Remember the positioning. How do we like our positioning throughout this entire fight? Whether we won the fight or not, how do we like our positioning? If this was any other type.
Too aggressive.
Much cover usage, would we say?
No.
Yeah. We're hopping over point, up and over point instead of like just playing point. We're not really sitting at a corner like here or like our Sig or Sojas. We're just kind of standing in the open, hopping around, I guess, what is visible on my screen, what is currently visible on the screen, which isn't really great. We could be looking to maybe play our range a little bit, play back here, or play, if we want to play a little bit more aggressive, hey, at least be playing the corner. At least be playing a corner of some sort. And if we also want to be aggressive, we could be maybe pressuring this corner as well. If we really want it, or this angle as well, which is a very viable option. But you don't really, you just don't play any corner, is main thing I could say. Yeah, just very aggressive positioning. Which, yes, it'll feel like it's working out sometimes, but then there's also going to be the times where you're like, well, why am I getting no value? And then you're going to look at your positioning, and then it's going to be like, oh, you're just positioning horribly. Because if a team's able to punish you for that positioning, and they can, or recognize that you're poorly positioning, you're going to get punished. And and you're not going to have a fun time in that game. Or even match if it turns out to be one of those situations instead. I like that noon. I really like that noon, actually. I think the only thing is maybe pop the noon as the Sig does his thing, so you can get more initial pressure. And maybe a little bit more panicky movement out of the enemy. Remember angles. See, you could have died if they got one more hit on you right there. And because you keep extending. Remember, same value here as you are getting here. Same value, pretty much. Ah, that's a little unfortunate. They look to have pushed into you guys with and your team kited back too much. Just really try to recognize where your team is again something. It comes with time. Just recognizing what your team's doing while also playing your game. Sometimes a fun little method I like to use for that is I'm just gonna keep backing up until I see my team stop backing up. So like until I'm behind my tank or some shit like that. And that's something that you could attempt to use if you do struggle with like recognizing what your team is up to, or if you guys were disengaging and then your team continued and you didn't like what just happened. Remember, like yeah, where was your tank right there? We want to make sure that we're trying to at least somewhat play behind our tank, or at least have knowledge as to where our tank is. Because if you're all the way up here and Sigma's holding all the way back here, that's on you. This is all on you. And I know you. And I'm not 100% sure whether or not you knew. That. Quiet down. Oh yeah, and I don't know whether or not you knew where your tank was exactly, so that's why I'm really just saying this. You want to know where your tank is. It's very important as to how determining as to whether or not you survive.
What are you doing behind me, man?
It's a good double. That works. Nice. Good ending though. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Bro, what the fuck is
Barks.
this Tracer doing?
Oh, this is crazy. What the fuck?
Oh damn.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, I fuck with it. I fuck with it. That's cool. I didn't read the patch notes, I guess. I like that cover usage. That's something that I really like. Yeah, utilizing even the moving cover instead of forcing yourself to stay back here. We could have looked to be a little bit more aggressive with it, like maybe utilizing it up until we hit this point, and then we could look to maybe play a little bit below the Sigma and apply a little bit of pressure here. And then if the Sigma drops, obviously he'll need to extend a little bit, and then your Sigma could move in for pressure. Because right now you're not really in a great spot to move to step up because they got you guys a little bit pinned. Ooh, a swap.
Yeah, but
Okay.
oh Genji. Mhm.
We were just too we didn't really do much. We kind of just ran over, ran into the middle, jumped up, and then just kind of stayed here, as you kind of saw. Which is why when moving through open areas like this, you can't dilly dally at all, yeah, or else shit like what just happened to you is gonna happen. You really got to be aggressive with your movement through space and like I need to get here. I need to get here. I don't even care if like you weren't if you weren't shooting at anyone and we're just like I have to get here now. That's the mindset that I'd much rather see rather than like jump back and forth,
Yeah.
doing a little twirling around doing some tricks and shit while trying to get to cover. I'd much rather you just straight get to cover, maybe do a little bit of poking once you get more comfortable with moving straight to cover. But yeah, that so that we don't like find situations where we end up forcing our team to wait a bit longer because we were just dumb. Oh, another swap. It's not just on Genji either, it's on literally any character. Good pick. Beautiful picks.
So sorry. So you have to just already. Oh,
Hitting your shots, I like it. I also like that you stepped up a little bit. Well, yes, we like cart moving. It doesn't always need to be. If we can guarantee that fight win for a couple, take a couple seconds to guarantee that fight win, like you did. It's a little unfortunate. Not a lot I can say really, honestly. Just a little unfortunate. I don't even think we need to swap here, like at all. It's not like the Widow wasn't working. You got picked up by an ult. You know what? Genji works too. Genji works too. Yeah, be careful. They know where you are, yeah. You could be more aggressive with your deflect. Like if you notice, we're just kind of standing here for like a good couple of seconds, not really doing a lot, just kind of.
Well, I just wanted to get them like not looking at my team.
I think there's too many of you here to be thinking about that, thinking about it like that. With both DPSs and a Moira being up here, we could be aggressive. You gotta recognize we're fighting that 3v2. So we already can't be wasting this many resources on just protecting or looking at a fucking Hanzo who's looking down at your team. So that's too much resources, meaning you either need to regroup with your fucking tank and help out the fight down here, or end this fight up here immediately. Meaning you and Sombra need to go in and fucking rape this guy. That's not
Okay.
what I said. I didn't say that. In game though, in game. That's the right wording.
So one.
And there you go. There you go. That's what I like. That was good. See, also it comes down to that confidence factor as well. Be confident in your dives. Be confident in the fights that you can hit, whether the fights that you know and you can and can't take. Okay. So going forward, mainly with your cash, you want to look to be a little bit less aggressive. It's treat him like a Sojourn, where you with that angle play and that cover play. Because I think you're thinking of his weapon a little bit too lightly. Like it's not great, but it's not horrible. But then just because it's not great doesn't mean that you need to force yourself closer to the fight as well as be more aggressive. If you need to overswing, the only reason you should need to overswing an angle is because there's no other immediate threat within that angle that could attack you without you needing to overswing. And then also be a little bit more patient with your dives. Be a little bit more patient in reading towards that situation, and then you should be a little bit more successful. And then also watch your teammates. Specifically, if you don't need to, when I say teammates, you don't need to watch all 4 of them and know exactly what they're doing. Just as a baseline start, it'll help with the aggression. Is watch the tank, see what your tank is doing, and then that'll be able to help you determine where you could position as well as how the fight might go. Okay. That's all I got.